This is a tutorial brought to you by KZN Bakery on how to make these adorable Christmas tree sugar cookies with the royal icing. First, you're going to take a dark green royal icing and you're going to pipe the top layer of the Christmas tree. You can outline whatever shape you want, and then you're going to go across the outline, building your icing in layer by layer. Smooth out that initial top layer of the icing. And then grab your royal icing one more time and you're going to pipe the bottom layer, leaving the middle blank. Make sure to get all the way to the edges on this one and then go up decently high because you don't want your middle layer to be too thick. Using the same technique as the first layer, pipe the edges and then go in all the way around the edges until you meet in the middle. This is going to minimize air bubbles and allow you to get the perfect flooding. Then I take my icing tool, smooth it out one more time to make sure there's no air bubbles, no creases, and nothing sticking up. Once I'm happy with that, I leave my cookie in front of a fan for about 20 to 30 minutes. You want the icing to crust over. This is going to make sure your layers don't blend together. Once I'm happy with how dry my cookie is, making sure the icing is crusted over, I'll grab my cookie one more time and I'll pipe the middle layer using the same technique I did for the first two. Pipe the edges, flood around into the middle, and then you're going to want to smooth out your cookie to make sure there's no bumps or air bubbles. At this point, I'll tap my cookie out to make sure I smooth out the entire cookie. I make sure to tap it very gently because the top and bottom layer are not completely dry, but they are crusted over. So if you tap too hard, you're going to break that royal icing and you're going to get a crack in your top layer of that royal icing, which won't make your cookie look very cute. Once I'm happy with how it looks, I leave it in front of a fan. I let it dry for probably about 30 minutes here. Then I went and I decided I'm going to pipe the trunk of the tree. I got a brown royal icing. Again, using the same technique as always, I pipe the outside, then slowly make my way to the middle. And I'll smooth it out. Once I'm happy with this as well, I'm going to leave it to dry. I let these dry overnight. This is going to help prevent any color bleeding when I start using the white royal icing. And you can see that there's really no air bubbles, really no bumps in these cookies because I took the time to make sure that they were nice and smooth. Once my cookie's totally dry, like I said, I let it dry overnight. I took white royal icing in a piping bag. This is a number 2 tip. I start off with the top layer of the Christmas tree and I pipe the edges first. Then I just take a paintbrush, only used for cookies, nothing else. And I'm going to take my paintbrush in small upward strokes and create a wisping effect that's going to help add some dimension to it and get that nice cute design. I do this layer by layer with my cookies, so I start off with the top layer and then I'll move to the middle, then the bottom layer, because since I'm only piping one layer of royal icing, that'll dry really fast, and if your icing crusts over, you won't be able to get that piping and paintbrush effect. I like to leave little gaps in mine just as like a cute little added design, add some more dimension. I pipe a few added layers into each royal icing layer, I guess, and this just helps further add dimension so your cookie doesn't look plain or bland. Finally, I'll start on my last layer. I find that the brown color tends to bleed more into the white icing, so I tend to just leave a gap where the trunk is, and I found that that's easiest for me. I found that I also like to use one added layer on the top, two added layers on the bottom and the middle, as you can kind of see, of that white icing. And then I'll mix up where I put those middle layers of icing, just so that each cookie is individual, each cookie is unique, but I keep the same 1, 2, 2 order, so that way all my cookies are similar, but they're still individual. A few things you can do to add some extra dimension to your cookies: you can add ornaments, you can add stars to the top. If you have a dark brown royal icing, you can add some dimension to your trunk. And this is the final product, a snow-capped Christmas tree. And here is my full Christmas set.